bank heists of GTA 5 make absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it's full of hundreds of hidden details that everybody completely missed. Everyone has to remember when you meet Lester at that linen place that he pretends to own, then he tries to convince you that you have critical thinking skills, which is a controversial topic that is still up for debate, which almost distracted me from Lester being unapologetically awkward for 20 consecutive minutes, which eventually transformed into Lester offering me a job for some reason that may or may not be one of the dumbest plans we have ever been a part of in all of Los Santos. And I had no idea why Lester Crest thought this would be a good idea, but we decided to run a semi-professional East LS heist crew operation that for some reason we had to run from my place of residence, where I keep all my partially stolen cars, top-of-the-line furniture made illegally obtained animal skins from rural jungle portions of South America. And I wasn't complaining about running criminal work from the place where I lived. I was mostly complaining that we were running all of the biggest heists with the crazy shit that no person should be able to get away with in the digital age, being comfortably hosted in a walk-in closet that I repurposed as a tactical operations nerve center with an unforgivable amount of incriminating evidence where Lester essentially cons me and my maybe Yakuza partner in crime into pulling a brazen heist, so we just went along with everything Lester said and awkwardly stood around like non-verbal children as he sets us up to intelligently scope a heist location. And of course, we were going to do this in the smartest way possible by following Lester out of our apartment and entering Lester's personal registered vehicle that he legally owned with his real name, where everyone can see us clearly associating with one another in broad daylight, where I just barely follow the poorly regulated traffic laws, where various CCTV cameras basically see us as Lester talks openly about a score on the Chumash Beach Bank branch of Fleeca, where he taught our battle agent how to penetrate the security servers and gain an unrealistic level of access to the bank's top-tier security system, where we can see the vault's defensive measures and the safety deposit area with our future payday and us. So we better be wiping these fucking recordings, otherwise we're going to prison for the rest of our lives. After the hack, we left the bank, over to the fabric factory now, where Lester pretends to have a real job. Then we meet his hacker bitch and drive experimental drill equipment out directly back to the place where I fucking live, where the hotel's CCTV footage should have caught us carrying a 170-pound industrial-sized vault drill 3 days before we pull off a bank heist. With no preparation or training with this equipment, as Lester proceeds to confuse the fuck out of us for 20 consecutive minutes, as he mostly talks about how stupid everyone is, as his cyber wench started taping incriminating pictures in random places darted around my broom closet. Then my battle agent learned there was another half of the San Andreas, and out of nowhere Lester began to inform us on an armored sports car that we somehow needed for a perfectly clean bank job off the beach of Chumash. However, we couldn't buy the damn thing as it would arouse a shit ton of suspicion, so Lester laughed in the creepiest way possible and left us to figure out how to get an experimental armored sports car, which is how we ended up at this car park where a professional Korean cocaine ring was gingerly guarding the top level, and the only way to get to that armored car was getting through all the Korean gang members. So with no better plans, we ascended the tedious transition ramp up to the heavily fortified Koreans, who were definitely murderers and were insanely well armed, where instead of sneaking up to the crew and stealing it, we took cover near this little powwow, and we acquired the car the only way I knew how. After clearing them out, we finally acquired the Kuruma, which was kinda strange since the whole time we were killing them, they never thought to use this thing on us, as we were pretty much untouchable in this damn thing, and they were mad, and I would be too if someone came to my Korean place of work and killed 57 of my Korean friends, then drifted around in my experimental supercar that they probably had a hard time acquiring, being stored in a poorly guarded car park. Then we took it to Page and essentially stored our hot import in a completely not guarded underpass right where Lester legally owns a business, which I never really thought about till now. But the time for thinking was over because Lester somehow snuck into my fucking house. But this time it wasn't to bug my home with surveillance. This time he was teaching my Yakuza friend just enough English to communicate with me during a brazen bank heist, where we exercised almost no caution over the past 3 to 5 business days, and definitely left a lot of evidence, which Lester never addresses at all, nor cares about in the slightest way. Instead, he had a non-sexually induced heist orgy, where he talked surprisingly little about what we were doing, and instead he proceeded to be unapologetically awkward for our entire entire briefing. And even though Kyle didn't verbally understand us at all, even he was more confused about the job than before Lester called this pre-heist meeting. Then Lester said some cryptic ass shit like "don't fuck this up" and scampered out of the room with no details on our roles. So then we grabbed the Kuruma from the unprotected factory, driving 190 miles per hour in dense downtown traffic that somehow didn't get the attention of police. Also, I was driving an armored sports car, which somehow also didn't get the attention of the police. Plus, Kyle was hacking into a government-subsidized security network that belonged to a contingency well-protected Chumash Fleeca bank that we were going to fucking rob.
Take out the cameras, quick! You'll be broadcasting live to the LSPD if you don't shut them down now!
Please, I don't want to get...
Stay in control. If they think you're weak, they might try something.
I don't want to die.
Let the hostages know what happens to heroes, yeah? This ain't the movies. That's the box. Be ready to move. Go, go, go! You didn't come this far to end up in the back of a squad car. I've got my getaway guy waiting for you, man, for the cops if you can just get there.
Cops were hot on our tail from the bank. They were setting up roadblocks to stop us, but I was in an armored fucking car that didn't, however, stop the police from being hot on our ass. But then the unexpected happened at the best time, and the police were just as surprised as I centered myself on the highways bridge, driving directly under a military-issue helicopter, which Lester at no point even talked about in the slightest, where we made a great escape from the law enforcement as we flew off confusingly towards international waters. But it all turned out to be a wonderful success, as we made it out with a safety deposit box, which we delivered directly to Lester, while pulling off one of the most brazen bank heists in San Andreas. The only problem we had now was what to do with all the money.
Wake up, coffee. Check time, stop me. Need to fix mine. It's pantomime. Moving, don't stop. Depend on clock. Think we'll be late. Please set me straight.